All right, let's talk about something we all deal with every single day: food. But we're going to go a little deeper than just what tastes good. Think of this as opening up the user manual for your body's engine. We're talking about macronutrients, the essential fuels that power literally everything you do. You've heard it a million times, right? Food is fuel. But what kind of fuel are we talking about here? It's not like your body is a simple car that just takes one kind of gas. Oh no, it's a high-performance machine, and it runs on a really specific blend of different energy sources. So, what are they? Well, the answer is these things called macronutrients, or macros, as you've probably heard. They're the big three: carbohydrates, protein, and fats. And your body needs a lot of them, not just for energy, but to build, to repair, and just to function correctly day in and day out. And get this, they are not all created equal when it comes to energy. See, carbs and protein give you about 4 calories for every gram. But fat? Fat packs a much bigger punch at 9 calories per gram. That's a huge difference, and it's a really crucial point we're going to come back to. Okay, first up, let's dive into the body's go-to power source: carbohydrates. If your body has a fuel tank, think of carbs as the high-octane, ready-to-burn fuel that gives you that immediate get up and go. When your body needs a quick boost, what does it look for first? Yep, it's carbs. They're the easiest fuel for your muscles to access, but they are absolutely non-negotiable for one very, very important organ: your brain. And don't just take my word for it. The National Academy's Institute of Medicine states it so clearly. Your brain pretty much runs exclusively on glucose, which, you guessed it, comes from carbohydrates. This is a huge reason why sometimes, on a really low-carb diet, you can feel that brain fog setting in. Now, you've probably heard this before, but it's so important. Not all carbs are the same, not even close. You've got your simple carbs, think pastries, candy, sodas that digest super fast. And then you've got complex carbs from things like veggies and whole grains that break down slowly and give you a nice, steady stream of energy. So what does that actually feel like? Well, it's the classic sugar crash. You eat those simple carbs, your blood sugar shoots way up. Your body then releases a flood of insulin to deal with all that sugar. But what happens next? Your blood sugar plummets, and suddenly you're tired, you're cranky, and you're hungry all over again. Sound familiar? Okay, so we've got our quick energy covered. Now let's switch gears and talk about the body's construction crew, the ultimate builder: protein. Most of us hear protein, and we immediately think muscles, right? And yeah, that's true, but that's just scratching the surface. Protein is literally the main building block for every single cell in your body. It provides both the structure, like the walls of a house, and the function, like all the workers inside. I mean, just look at this list. It's incredible. We're talking muscle, organs, bones, even your hair, skin, and nails. And it goes deeper. The enzymes that run chemical reactions and the hormones that send signals throughout your body, all built from protein. It is a serious multitasker. Okay, and this is a really, really important difference to remember. Your body can store extra carbs and fat for later, but protein? Nope, there's no storage tank. That means you need to get a steady supply of it in your diet to keep all those building and repair projects running on schedule. All right, let's move on to our third macro, and this is one that has, let's be honest, a pretty bad reputation sometimes: fats. It's time we stop thinking of fat as the enemy and start seeing it for what it is: the body's essential energy reserve and protector. Hey, remember this number from the beginning? 9 calories per gram? That's more than double the energy you get from carbs or protein. And that density, that's not a bug, it's a feature. It's exactly why your body loves to store it. It's an incredibly efficient way to pack away a whole lot of backup energy without taking up too much space. But again, just like protein, fat is way more than just one thing. Yeah, it's long-term energy, but it also insulates your body to keep you warm, it provides cushioning for your vital organs, it's the foundation for critical hormones, and it plays a vital role in absorbing nutrients. Specifically, these 4 superstars: vitamins A, D, E, and K. You can eat all the carrots in the world, but without enough healthy fat in your diet, your body just can't absorb and use these vitamins that are essential for everything from your immune system to your eyesight. So we've met our 3 main players: carbs for quick energy, protein the builder, and fat the energy reserve. The big question is, how do you get them to work together? This is where it all comes together. It's a balancing act. to figure that out. We're not just guessing, we're going straight to the experts. This report right here from the National Academies is basically the gold standard for dietary recommendations in both the US and Canada. And inside that report, they talk about this concept called the AMDR. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. It's not a single, strict number, but a healthy range for each macro that, for most people, is linked to a lower risk of chronic disease while still making sure you get all the nutrients you need. So, what is that sweet spot for most adults? Well, here it is. The goal is to get somewhere between 45 to 65% of your daily calories from carbohydrates, 10 to 35% from protein, and 20 to 35% from fat. It's a wide range, which gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, it's worth pointing out that these ranges aren't set in stone for your entire life. They actually shift a bit depending on your age. For example, look at young children. Their recommended range for fat is much higher, which is absolutely critical for their brain development. You know, there's a quote in that same report from the National Academies that I think just perfectly sums this all up. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Understanding all this is fantastic, but the real magic happens when you actually put it into practice. And that really brings us right to the end here. You've got the user manual now, you understand the why behind the food you eat, you know what the different fuels do for your body. So the real question isn't what are macros anymore. It's how are you going to use this knowledge to build your next plate?
Ever feel totally confused about what you're supposed to eat? Let's decode the building blocks of food, macros. So let's start with a wild stat. More than half of American adults have a preventable diet-related disease. With all the conflicting advice out there, you gotta wonder, what are we actually meant to be eating? Well, the secret isn't just counting calories. It's about knowing where those calories are coming from.
We're talking about the big three macronutrients your body needs to thrive: carbs, protein, and fats.
First up, carbs. Think of them as the main fuel source for your muscles and your brain. Then you've got protein. This is the stuff that builds and repairs, well, pretty much everything in your body.
And finally, fats. They're vital for storing energy and helping you absorb key vitamins.
All right, so that's the team. Now let's get into what each player does, starting with carbs.
But here's the thing, not all carbs are created equal. You've got your steady energy versus quick spikes. For that long-lasting energy, you want to aim for unprocessed sources like these.
Okay, let's switch gears from fuel to the construction crew. It's time to talk about protein.
The amino acids in protein are literally like bricks that your body uses to repair and build muscle.
And you can find these essential building blocks in all kinds of foods, from fish to beans. And now our final macro, fats. They get a bad rap, but the type of fat is what really matters.
It really boils down to choosing healthy, unsaturated fats over the saturated kind found in processed foods.
So look for these good fats in whole foods like avocados, nuts, olive oil, and salmon.
Okay, so we know what they are, but what's the right balance? Well, science actually gives us a blueprint.
Researchers created these guidelines to help lower disease risk while making sure you get enough nutrients. For most adults, that means 45 to 65% of calories from carbs, 20 to 35% from fats, and 10 to 35% from protein. And this chart shows why balance is so key. Notice fat has more than double the calories per gram.
So, the takeaway is pretty simple. Use complex carbs for fuel, lean protein to build, and healthy fats for support.
When you have the blueprint, you stop just eating and you start building. So what's your next project?